You're go? Good. I'll call this meeting to order. Will we all rise for the flag salute?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And would we all remain standing for a moment of silence for all those in harm's way and all of our military at home and abroad? Thank you. You can be seated. Statement of advance notice. The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act of the State of New Jersey have been satisfied by the inclusion of the date, time, and place of this meeting in the notice of regular meetings adopted by this board on January 6, 2025. Such schedule and notice of meetings is posted at the municipal building, the Mount Olive Library, the Board of Education offices, and 6 schools, was submitted to the Daily Record for publication on January 7, 2025, and was filed with the Clerk of Mount Olive Township on January 8, 2025. I direct that this announcement be entered into the minutes of this meeting. And we'll take a roll call, please.
Mrs. Aquino?
Here.
Mrs. Fenton?
Here.
Mrs. Figuera?
Here.
Mrs. Fitzgerald?
Here.
Dr. Giordano?
Here.
Mrs. Melendez? Mrs. Narcisse?
Here.
Mrs. O'Neill?
Here.
Mr. Orzillo?
Here.
And with that, I will take a motion for the approval of the minutes 2.1 and 2.2. Ms. Fitzgerald, you seem ready.
I would like to make a motion to approve the minutes, items 2.1 to 2.2.
Second.
Any comments or questions from the board? No, seeing none, we'll take a roll call.
Mrs. Fitzgerald?
Abstain on both.
Dr. Giordano?
Yes.
Mrs. Aquino?
Yes.
Mrs. Fenton?
Yes.
Mrs. Figuera?
Yes.
Mrs. Narcisse?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Neill?
Yes.
Mr. Orzillo?
Yes.
And with that, Dr. Banji, I believe we have a presentation this evening?
Yes, we do. I'd like to invite Ms. Jackie Bello to the microphone. Actually, before that, let's go do the student representatives first.
Yes.
Come on up.
So we're just going to change
Yes, we're
order of the meeting. We're going to let our student representatives
Yes.
go first. We'll move
Right
our
back over and
superintendent
yes.
report, and then we'll go into closed session.
Hello everyone, so my name is Itelka Molliner and I'm the Board of Ed Liaison this year, and with me today is Meryl Piapilli, the Student Council President. So, for past events, we had a financial aid night on October 6th, which was really successful. A lot of our parents got really great information. We had a lot of tests to go through. On October 8th, we had the SATs. October 15th were the PSATs. October 16th were the ACTs, and on the 22nd were the ASVAB tests. On the 16th, we had our art career night, which was wonderful. We had representatives from 2 art colleges come. Our showcase concert was also on the 16th. The band and orchestra played, and we had multiple vocal ensembles sing. On the 22nd, we had a college fair, which was really successful, and every Tuesday and Thursday from now on, we're going to have an application boot camp to help seniors fill out their college applications.
Very nice.
On the 22nd was also our Safe Trick or Treat, which was run by Best Buddies this year. It was very successful. We had a great turnout. We had a lot of club participation, and a lot of students and the kids had a really great time. Broadway Night was also on the 23rd. The kids all did a really great job. The students were wonderful, and it was Disney themed this year. And the National Honor Society induction is tonight, which is really exciting. So for athletics, our marching band placed first on October 4th at West Milford, and they increased their score by 4 points since their last competition, which is really good. We're really proud of them. The gymnastics team won the league championships for the 4th time in our school's history. So we're very, very proud of our gymnastics team. They're doing really well this season. And our girls tennis team are division co-champions. They have won most wins this season since 2010. Really exciting for them as well. And volleyball is our division championships this year. Football has their first state tournament game. They made it to playoffs. We have it this Friday at 6:30. It's a Thursday. It's a home game. It's against Nutley, so please make sure to come. And on that note, we have winter registration and intakes happening now. So make sure to tell your kids to sign up for winter registration.
Love it.
All right, so for upcoming events, we have the National English Honor Society induction on the 29th of October. We also have the Rho Kappa and Math Honor Societies inductions also happening in October. The dates aren't quite set on that. We have the Unified Soccer versus Staff Soccer game this Thursday on the 30th. So a lot of our teachers are participating with the students in that club. Our marking period, the first marking period, ends on the 5th of November. So we're all looking forward to having that come to a close. We have regular.
That's a good, honest answer.
We have regular AP registration closing on November 7th, so make sure to tell your kids to register for their AP exams. We're anticipating over 1,000 exams being administered this year, so there's a lot of students participating in that. We also have the NJ SLA and NJ GPA field test happening next week on the 3rd, the 5th, and the 10th. We also have the club's, the Marauder Messengers newspaper being published on November 10th, so be sure to look out for that. And we also have an upcoming career fair on the 12th of November. We are also hosting the first LEGO League qualifying event on November 22nd, and the state championships for that will also be held at the high school on the 13th and 14th of December. And lastly, we have the high school drama show coming up, which will be Mean Girls this year on November 20th through the 22nd. And we also have Snowland coming up, which is our annual winter dance on the 6th of December, and tickets are being sold through November 10th through 13th.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And hold on, any questions or comments from the board for the ladies?
Where did the Tuesday, Thursday college application thing come from? I love that.
I don't know, I like that.
I think it's a guidance initiative. I think it's new this year. I don't think I've heard of it before, but it's actually really successful so far. We see it in the lobby all the time, so it's really good.
It's a guidance initiative.
I love that.
Yeah.
They do some good work over there.
They do good work. Excellent.
We've been doing it
For years?
yeah.
I like it.
Oh, look.
Never mind. There's something new.
It's the first I've heard of it. That's
Here's
awesome.
Mr. Felton with all the answers.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, thank you, ladies. And is there anything that's not going on at the high school? I can't imagine anyone would be bored, jeez. But thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Dr. Banjo, we'll turn it over to our presentation.
Yes, at this moment, I would like to invite Miss Jackie Bello, who's going to be sharing us our HIB self-assessment for the 24-25 school year.
Did we lose you down there, Louisa?
Well, good evening, everyone. I am here to present what we commonly call HIB self-assessment. It's HIB, harassment, intimidation, and bullying, the self-assessment for last school year. So every year, the State Department of Education releases a rubric and a self-assessment, and in the fall, we, in our groups in the schools, assess ourselves based on that rubric. So this is the report of those results. I had to turn it on. So there is a process for determining these scores. Self-assessment is a bit of a misnomer. We can't just grade ourselves anything that we'd like. There are guidelines provided by the NJDOE, Department of Education. Every year they do update the guidelines, but some years they stay exactly the same. So we don't ever know exactly what it's going to look like, but we have a pretty good guess, and so we typically use the previous year's rubric to measure ourselves as the year is going on. So it's a little bit of a cheat code, but it's allowed. It's a permitted cheat code to just use that guideline to make sure we're on track in real time. And that is what we do as a practice. And by we, I mean myself, the anti-bullying coordinator, and the anti-bullying specialists, and the principals, and the school climate and safety teams at each school. So they do give us a rubric along with evidence, documents, suggested evidence. So we check ourselves. We have to be able to provide evidence for each of these rubrics before we score ourselves. We do complete it with the school climate and safety teams in each building. So the anti-bullying specialists, who are counselors at each school, lead those meetings. They have administrators in on it as well. Those teams are comprised of a parent from the school, a teacher, counselors, administrators, anybody who wants to join. We're trying to get those teams to be bigger.
Can I interrupt Ms. Bello
Yes.
for a second? I think I don't want to underscore the importance of these school climate and safety teams, that the district does a great deal of fidelity to ensure that these teams actually are having the necessary conversations. So it's not like, let's go together and just do the self-assessment because we have to check that. They meet regularly throughout the year and have really, I would say, robust conversations, which then Ms. Bello brings back as far as the counselors district-wide. And, I'm excited to share that Ms. Bello is also leading the District Wellness Committee that's also an outcome of the strategic plan, making sure that work is done at the the larger level. So thank you for that dedication and not only doing it for a state requirement, that you're really doing that work throughout the year.
It is, everybody wants to be involved in it. I had such a great turnout for the Wellness Committee that it's much bigger than I wanted, but it's still, there's a cross-representation of so many groups, grade levels, roles, from paraprofessionals to secretaries to teachers to administrators, that I didn't want to turn anybody away. So we just tweaked our activities to fit a larger group. But it's also tied with the school climate survey. So every year we give out a school climate survey to staff, to students, and to parents. We would love for parents to have some more participation in that when it comes out in the spring, because we do use that data to inform our school climate and safety team meetings, and it drives some of the anti-bullying programs, some of the social emotional lessons, activities that we do in the schools. And lastly, we do review this. Anti-bullying specialists, who are the counselors in each of the schools, I meet with them regularly to review things as a team so that we can kick around ideas together, because you'll see not everybody's score is the same, and that's okay. I'll talk to that. So the process for determining the scores is that we present, or the process for presenting the scores, I present them at the Board of Ed meeting, and then we do submit them on the homeroom website, the Department of Ed website, for final submission, but that's after tonight's presentation and after they're accepted by the board. And then the official grade reports come out from the New Jersey Department of Education months later, and then we do post them to our district website once that becomes available, so you can see previous years are up there. So the rubric has 8 core elements. These are the titles for them, and I'll let you read the titles, but what the titles mean is a wide scope of different strategies that we use to promote anti-bullying and our response to bullying. So it's both our prevention tactics and our reaction tactics. So it goes to all the different anti-bullying programs that we have, making sure that they're reaching all the students, making sure that our training is reaching everybody who sees kids throughout the school day. Staff instruction and training programs to make sure that we're doing the best we can to understand the law that's updated, understand the policies, the regulation, and understand how to respond if a student feels like they're being bullied. And then any instruction on it, related information, all the way down to our personnel, who's assigned what roles, what kind of training they had, what our incident reporting procedure is, what our investigation procedure is. I'll go through some of that tonight as well, just making sure it's compliant. So our actual assessment has 8 core elements that I just talked through, with 26 total indicators in the whole assessment. So each of the 8 core elements might have 2 or 3 indicators, it might have 5 indicators, but these are the scores for each indicator, 0, 1, 2, or 3. So a 2 is good. It means we're meeting the requirements in that indicator, and a 3 means we're exceeding it. So naturally, we want to exceed it every time. So if we had 2 on everything across the board, if we're doing everything we're supposed to be doing, then we would have a 52. But the perfection is the 78, and we're constantly chasing that perfection and hoping for excellence. So these are the scores, and you can see each individual element for each individual school. And then all the way to the right, you have the school grades in the gray column. And then at the very bottom, that's the district average. So it's actually just slightly over 76, I think. So like I said, every school is different, and it's not meaning that one school is doing things better or worse. Sometimes it's a matter of personnel. Sometimes it's a matter of the volume that they're investigating. Sometimes it's just a matter of a program that lifted or a program that we couldn't do after all. So the scores vary, and they're going to change year to year, but they're pretty in keeping with each other. And then what I wanted to switch to was just to talk a little bit more about the investigation procedures, because we do have to speak to the fact that we investigate a very high volume of alleged incidents of harassment, intimidation, and bullying. So when I go to my county meetings, we're the second largest district in the county, so it's understandable, but even, scaled, we're still investigating a whole lot. So what we do like to try to do is take a moment to talk about what the definition of bullying really is and what we're charged with looking at when we do these investigations. So it can be any gesture, any written, verbal, physical act, any electronic communication, single incident, series of incidents that is reasonably perceived as being motivated by actual or perceived characteristics. So that part of the definition, I wanted to pause for a moment and just explain that if we're in an argument over a game and then I criticize your appearance, it doesn't necessarily fit the bullying definition because we were in an argument about the game and then I threw a low blow in there and criticized your appearance. So there's potential that even though I might have said something really horrible that really hurt, there's potential that that doesn't fit the definition of bullying because the whole incident wasn't about that characteristic. The incident was about the game that we were fighting over. So these are some of the things that in our trainings throughout the school year, we keep hearing over and over again from trainings like Strauss-Esme, from New Jersey Department of Education training. So it really has to be initiated. The whole incident is initiated by some type of characteristic. And it can take place anywhere, on school property, school-sponsored function, off school grounds. And then this is the other piece that's really a sticking point. It has to substantially disrupt or interfere with the orderly operation of the school or the rights of other students. So this substantial disruption means it's more than a momentary upset. So yes, it's upsetting in the moment, but if everybody picks up and moves on with their day pretty easily, then it's not a substantial disruption. So another sticking point that we're looking for in investigations. So when we are investigating this high volume of alleged HIB incidents, sometimes what it comes down to is we discover that there was a conflict that happened between students. It's pretty normal and it's pretty everyday life type of situation, but some conflicts are really awful. Some conflicts are really cutting, very inappropriate, egregious acts that the school does need to address and that adults need to intervene and help support the students. It doesn't always mean it matches that HIB definition. And that's the hard part, and the part that we just hope everybody will understand is that we're always here to help with conflict. It doesn't have to be that it matches the definition for HIB. So HIB stands for harassment, intimidation, and bullying. So if somebody is speaking to school personnel using that language, it means they're reporting an incident of potential HIB. It triggers the investigation. So the word bullying is so commonplace in our culture. It's just what we use to describe somebody being mean to somebody else. But it also has policy implications when you use it with school personnel. So sometimes people don't mean that they want an HIB investigation initiated, but if they said, my child's being bullied, we can't unhear that because we're then stuck between a rock and a hard place. So we have to err on the side of caution and just investigate it, but that's another word. Investigate means look into it, ask questions, but it also feels very legal implications. So sometimes when we say we're doing an HIB investigation, it can be very upsetting as a parent to hear that when somebody's talking about your child. But what does that mean? What does an HIB investigation mean? It just means the school counselors are going to talk to your your kids and say, what happened? Tell me what happened. They're going to talk to the other kids. They're going to say, now you tell me what happened. So everybody gets to tell their side to a counselor. And then the counselors are going to take some notes. Counselors are going to ask the students, do you want to write down what happened, to see if that helps? And then within 10 days, the counselors compile those notes and give the report to the principal. This is the important part. The HIB investigation, it doesn't mean that if it's unfounded, there's a winner and a loser, or a liar and a truth teller. It just means that something didn't match the legal definition in the state of New Jersey. So consequences are given based on the code of conduct. So if a student broke a rule, if a student did something really egregious, that student is receiving a consequence. And the consequences range, suspension all the way down to, counselor doing some lessons with them, helping them understand some restorative practice, maybe a detention, depending on what the code of conduct says. So as soon as the investigation reveals that a rule was broken in the code of conduct, we can act on that and start to remediate. But it doesn't mean that there's no action taken just because there was an unfounded HIB. It just means it didn't match that definition. And then lastly, I think we all know this, but we can't disclose specifics of the consequences for somebody else's child. If it's your child, we can tell you, but if it's somebody else's child, that's their FERPA rights. We can't tell you exactly what we did, but we can tell you that action was taken.
I just want to go back to that slide. I can't emphasize enough for the families at home and those in the audience right now about just because it's not founded as HIB does not mean that nothing is happening. I think, as Ms. Bello pointed out, it's a different path in which a consequence is given. Regardless, at the end of the day, consequences are given based upon our code of conduct, right? So, and to her point, there's no winners or losers, truth teller, liar. It has nothing to do with that. It has to be about looking into what happened and ensuring that both parties are educated and there's consequences given that are aligned based upon our code of conduct. And that's, I want to really emphasize. So that one takeaway, people at home, is please remember that.
Can I jump in there too, Ms.
Yeah.
Bell? I just want to go back, and I would have said this after you're done, but this is an appropriate time. Going back to the one slide when you said it was reasonably perceived, and you use that example, I could absolutely reasonably perceive that you're intimidating and harassing me. Doesn't necessarily, in an investigation, if I report it or my parents report it, an investigation will ensue. That does not mean it's going to be founded. I think parents assume, or not only say all parents, but a lot of misinformation's out there that once an investigation's open, it's going to be founded. It may not be, and that's what we have to look at. That in that case scenario, I may have reasonably assumed that you're HIB, but the facts of the matter will not
Support that.
Right.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a very good point to make.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a very narrow definition. So New Jersey is known for having a broad scope for reasons to investigate, but a very narrow scope for actually matching the definition of harassment, intimidation, and bullying. So parents are then notified the outcome by a phone call. If we can't catch them by the phone, the principal calls. If not, they'll send an email and then mail the letter. And the HIB investigation is submitted to the superintendent, the anti-bullying coordinator, and the summary report is sent to the Board of Education for the next meeting. And then parents or guardians may appeal the determination that was founded in the investigation. So anyone who'd like to report a potential HIB can certainly call the school, send an email, but you can also go online to our district website. This is the About tab. You will see the HIB button that I've pointed to. And then once you're there, there's all kinds of information, but there's also peer conflict information. So I've circled the button that you actually click to report a potential incident of HIB, but right under there, you can also report a code of conduct violation. So here's the big thing, because sometimes we hear from parents, my child's being bullied, but no, I didn't mean an HIB investigation. This might be the path that you want to go down. You can submit a code of conduct report just as easily as you can submit an HIB report. And that is still going to trigger the same notification email to the principal that the HIB report would send to them. So it's same thing. And an investigation will still occur. We'll still talk to the students. It could be a counselor talking to them, could be an administrator, it could be the teacher, depending on what the violation was. And then the code of conduct will be followed, and the outcomes will still be reported to parents. So that process is the same. It just doesn't go on a board report. That's the main difference. And the key takeaway, above all else, is that we believe that children learn best when they're happy, healthy, and safe. So we want everybody to feel good. We want them to have help with their conflicts. We want things to have adult intervention if it needs to be, but we don't necessarily have to investigate everything as HIB unless you really feel that's how you have to report it, and that's okay too. So that's all I have.
Ms. Bello, real quick, are we having some parent sessions in the coming weeks, right?
We are. So I'm working with Thrive this year. So Thrive is, we have a great partnership with them, and they do come and do several free sessions. They did just have a little turnover in their staffing, but we are booking some things for winter into spring.
And they have been really successful. They're virtual, and families are able to attend, and there are really some I wouldn't say targeted topics that align itself to, supporting their child as they navigate through the school system, especially at certain ages. So I highly do recommend families to attend them from the leisure of their home. And these are the ones that are recorded? Are these the ones?
Yeah, they'll send them out recorded as well, but they're great. They're linked to psychology too. So they're counselors and psychologists who've studied this a bunch, and their presentations are fantastic. We've gotten great feedback. We did them a couple of years ago and got some great feedback, so.
I'd like to also point out, too, and you talked about the investigations, just for the board and parents at home in the audience, and correct me if I'm wrong here, which I probably could be, but when we're doing an investigation, we're taking the information that's presented to us, whether we're talking to the accused or the victim or any witnesses, and we're making the best judgment, and the information is in front of us. We're not the police officers. It's not without a shot of a doubt. You are. It's so. I know a lot of parents, at least in my experience, would not allow us to speak to their child or tell their child not to say anything. That could probably be the worst thing to do, because then we're just going to go with the information we have in front of us to make a determination. So I like to remind people that at home, it's always best to have students be open and honest with us when we're investigating these things. It's not the end of the world if a child engages in this. A lot of times it could be founded and the child's unaware that they engaged in it. That could happen. It's all done in the best interest of all our students.
Yeah, thank you. Such a good point. Yep, thank you. Anybody else?
Any other questions or comments from the board? No?
The last thing I want to say is I just want to say thank you to Ms. Bello and her team of counselors across the district. They are doing a heavy lift, as you know, in today's society. Our kids are coming to us with a lot of, things that they need to talk about and support systems for their families. So they've taken on a great number of roles. So thank you to her, including Mr. Feltman over at the high school as well. They've done a really good work as far as making sure that these counselors are there in so many different ways, not just only the anti-bullying specialist.
Yeah. Thank you. They're phenomenal, and the principals too.
Yes.
They have been phenomenal with this. Thank you.
So thank you for the team.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And with that, I believe we'll go into closed session, then return for the remainder of our reports and meeting. May I have a motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are in closed session. Be it resolved that the board meet in confidential session for the purpose of discussing negotiations, personnel matters, attorney-client privilege, pending or anticipating litigation, confidential pupil matters, real estate matters. Be it further resolved that the matters discussed in confidential session be disclosed to the public when reason for confidentiality no longer exists, and we are in closed session.
Are we good?
I call us back to session. Can we take a roll call, please?
Mrs. Aquino?
Here.
Mrs. Fenton?
Here.
Mrs. Figuera?
Here.
Mrs. Fitzgerald? Here. Dr. Giordano?
Here.
Mrs. Melendez?
Here.
Mrs. Narcisse?
Here.
Mrs. O'Neill?
Here.
Mr. Orzillo?
Here.
Okay, and we will skip down to 5.3. Any board, subcommittee, and parent-teacher association liaison reports? Do we have any from the board? Nope. Any from the public? Nope, seeing none. And I do not have anything for President's report. And before we go to public comments on action items, I have one adjustment to the agenda. We are going to table 8.18. John, do we need a motion for that?
No.
No?
You can just state that
Okay,
it's moved with that.
okay. And
removed.
with that, it's moved. All right, with that, I will open up public comments on action items. Members of the community may comment on any action item prior to board discussion. Please state your name and address for the record. All comments must be respectfully presented. Abusive or obscene comments will not be tolerated. The mic is open for action items. Anyone? Tick-tock, tick-tock. All right, that's a quick one. With that, we will close out public comment on action items. And moving forward, we will take actually a consent agenda with a motion to move item 7.1 all the way down to 10.2.
So moved.
11.1.
11.1?
So moved with the correction.
11.1? Goes down?
No, 10.2.
10.2.
So fast.
I was fine with that. I was 10.2. Correction.
So 7.1 all the way to 10.2
So moved.
minus 8.18.
Second.
And we have a second. Any comments or questions from the board on that? Nope. We'll take a roll call then.
Dr. Giordano?
Yes.
Mrs. Aquino?
Yes.
Mrs. Fenton?
Yes.
Mrs. Figuera?
Yes.
Mrs. Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Mrs. Melendez?
Abstaining 9.2, anything related to Angela Sanchez, and yes to everything else.
Mrs. Narcisse?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Neill?
I abstain from anything with Christian Humphrey or special education. Yes to everything else.
Mr. Orzillo?
Yes.
Okay, and with that, we will move to public comments. Public comments, students, parents, employees, and community members may comment on any item of interest pertaining to the Mount Olive School District. Please state your name and address for the record. All comments must be respectfully presented. Abusive or obscene comments will not be tolerated. And the mic is open for public comment. Do we want to lower the mic?
Yeah, I know the way.
As do I.
We have a system.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, guests, and the greater Mount Olive community. My name is Gita Vogel. I live at 48 June Grass Way, Panther Valley in Alamucci. Good evening. As the field representative assigned to Mount Olive from NJPSA, New Jersey Principals and Supervisors Association, it continues to be my pleasure to work with the MOTSD chapter. I welcome Mr. Rob Feltman as the new president of the chapter, while also acknowledging the very fine leadership and friendship of Mr. Kevin Stansberry. The new regime of officers will continue to work closely with those who are now in the consultant's role, with the intention of providing leadership and guidance to those who serve the students of Mount Olive. The students deserve the best, and having been in this role for 6 years, I can assure you that this legion of administrators does that every day. I wish them continued good luck to all of you. Have a good school year, and to the board, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I do this for attention.
It works for you.
We like the bedazzle.
Bling. I love it.
Lisa, I have a comment. And Dr. Banjo said I could just sit here. So Jeannie O'Neill, 46 Karen Place. My comment is that it's coming, close to Halloween, and there are special needs kids that look bigger, might in some people's minds be too old for trick-or-treating, and I'm just wanting to say to try to be kind. And if you see a middle schooler dressed in a costume wanting to trick-or-treat, they could be doing a whole lot worse.
Agree.
And people can be very mean to those kids. And so I'm just asking that everybody try to remember that. They could be carjacking your car instead of trick-or-treating in a costume.
I was going to go with egging a house, but that too. Yep.
Thanks, that's it.
If I could fit into a costume, I'd still go trick-or-treating too. I just want you to know that. Yeah, I actually might go trick-or-treating.
Come to my neighborhood.
Kids, you go.
I'll feed you.
We know where the full-size candy bars are,
I'll
Dr.
feed you.
Bangia.
Oh, I have them too.
I have them in my bag right now if you want some.
I have to bribe the kids to walk up my driveway.
We've gone off the rails here.
Where's your gavel?
Thank you, Jeannie.
Thank you, Mrs. O'Neill. Do we have anyone else from the public? No? Okay, seeing nothing. We will move on to old business. Members of the board may comment on any item or topic that was previously discussed by the board. Anyone? Nope, we're going to go then to new business. Any new business from the board? Nope, okay. We're going to go on to board and administrative comments. Members of the board may comment on any item of interest pertaining to the Mount Olive School District. Dr. Giordano, we'll start with you.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd just like to welcome both our two new supervisors to the district. Looking forward to working with both of you. And it's like I always told Ms. Huffman years ago that I always felt, and this is not a knock against anyone else in the district, but I always felt an LDTC, in my opinion, was always the best of the child site team members, only because you taught. Right, so LDTCs in state of New Jersey have to teach, and then they become an LDTC. So I'm just very happy to have. Doesn't take away from you, Chris. Your credentials are good too, but I just want to welcome both of you.
Ms. Fitzgerald.
Yeah, just a quick note of thanks to all of the teachers, staff, et cetera. It is a really crazy time of year. We've all been to multiple games, we've been to multiple shows, et cetera. Then you think of all the elementary schools, and we have holiday things. It's a lot this time of year, and you start to look across the district. You heard our lovely high school ladies talking about how much is going on, so just very appreciative of how much is happening while we're doing our day jobs. And so just a big thanks for that. It's really remarkable.
Ms. Melendez.
I would like to welcome the two special services supervisor, Chris and Aileen. I know that you are going to do great things in our district, and it's a great addition to the district to have that part of our structure now. Congratulations, Mr. Philman. So we'll see at negotiation table, I guess, probably, Moaza. So that organization is very close to my heart because really are the one who keeps the reins of this district. So we can help you, we just support you, but administration and teachers are really the ones that sustain our district and make our district so excellent that people want to come here. Other is I exhort everyone to compliance with your citizen duty and go to elections and vote for the candidate of your preference. It is important for us to keep the things and for you to have a voice.
So we'll do it here. Ms. Aquino?
Ditto for everything that you said, but I do want to just add on thank you to Jackie Bello for your presentation today, too. But thanks,
Excellent.
and welcome to everybody else. Thank you.
I'm going to ditto it, but thank you, Jackie. Welcome to the supervisors, and congratulations, Mr. Feltman. And thank you, Gita, for that lovely speech, as you always do. I did want to just bring something up. We have a lot going on, but I'm just so proud of our marching band, our tennis, our volleyball, and I was actually talking about gymnastics. That's a little near and dear to me, but I did not realize that they were 4 years undefeated in the regular season, 4 years in their league champs, and if they win this Saturday, it's going to be 4 years in sectional champs. I mean, for everything, you know, they have to go out, you know, because we don't have all this stuff. But man, what great things our school does. You know, even when we can't facilitate something 100%, we found a way to make them so successful. And I'm just so proud of everybody, every student, every teacher, every coach that does this stuff. And that is, it's like really Mount Olive proud.
Can I just say something? I always meet with high school kids once a month, and I had my lunch with them today, and that was the very thing all of them talked about. You know, we talked about things that they like about the school district, things that we can work on, and one of them is that there's so many diverse offerings, both in and inside of the classroom.
Sure.
There's something for everyone.
Yeah.
So what you just shared is exactly what the students were sharing about how there's something for everyone at the end of the day. There's, and if we don't have it, we will build it. Right?
Yeah,
It's like,
right.
and that's
then,
the
like,
thing that
even
we're
the marching bands up, they have their competition this Saturday. They're going to states as well. Yeah. I mean, it's
we have some fancy kids here.
I know, we do. We have some like superstars. That's what they used to call Sandshore superstars.
Still have the T-shirt.
I have my T-shirt.
We're all superstars. Thank you. And welcome.
I don't think I have anything much to say other than I had a great time down at school board's conference, learned a lot. I think I went to 7 classes, and I won't bore the public with all of the stuff we learned, but I'm sure Dr. Bangio will definitely be enacting a lot of it. With that, I'll move to Mr. Orzilla.
Ditto to everything. There is just way too much. I'd also like to wish luck to the football team this Friday because we'll be celebrating Halloween in the stadium. Also, I want to give a big shout out to our buildings and grounds guys. They do just an amazing job. Well, not unfortunately, but usually after the home games, I'm there late with helping with concessions cleanup, and those guys are just helpful, polite, professional, and I just got to give them a big shout out.
Agreed.
Nice.
That's great.
Ms. Pereira?
Nothing, it's all been said.
Right.
That's
a good answer.
Thanks to all of you.
Yes, for
Ditto
saying
to
the
all of
things
you.
that they said.
And Mrs. O'Neill, you want to wrap us up?
Just have a good night.
That's good.
And happy Halloween.
Can I say a couple things?
Dr. Bangio
So
wants
certainly, I just want to echo the sentiment in welcoming new members of our team. Chris and Eileen, we were so excited to have you. I had the opportunity to meet with them, get to know them the other week, and I've been so impressed by the experience they're bringing to Mount Olive, their diverse backgrounds, and I can't wait for them to hit the ground running under the leadership of Ms. Huffman. So welcome to the team. We're happy to have you. And certainly, I just would like to thank the board, too, as far as their attendance at last week's convention. You know, I would like the public to understand that all 9 members attended the convention, and that's a testament to the dedication they have to the work that's necessary to be on this board. You know, obviously superintendents I talked to, some of them don't have any members, some of them have maybe 1 or 2, but to have 100% attendance and attending the classes, having conversations during lunch, walking the conference halls to kind of figure it out, talking to vendors, it shows your heart and is not only there, but also your mind, and I can't thank you for that leadership. It's so nice to be working alongside you, just because at the end of the day, you want to do what's right by our kids. So thank you for that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, with that, I will take a motion to adjourn our meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we are closed.